Hi everybody, and today I want to talk about getting from the UK down through France and into Spain. We've not arrived in Spain just yet, but we're so close that I think I can talk about it because of the journey that we've taken, the amount of fuel we've used, what we've had to do, and the other people that we've spoken to that have taken different routes and done different things. So we decided that we would go from Folkestone on the Channel Tunnel train, which was an absolute joy. It was really simple. We had a bit of advice before we travelled to make our way to Folkestone and maybe fill up with fuel and gas before we travelled across on the train. Let me tell you that the Junction 11 turn-off, which is where you go for the Channel Tunnel, that service station there is one to be avoided. We paid the most extortionate amount of money to fill up with diesel. It was £1.69.9, so £1.70 all but per litre. And we were, pushing below a quarter of a tank. So, it was over £100 to fill up, and at that extortionate £1.70. I think service stations like that really ought to be named and shamed, because there's no reason on earth apart from simple profiteering that they put the prices up so much. So avoid the Junction 11 services. I think it's called Stop 24. You can't stop there for 24 hours unless you pay £20, which is another rip-off really. But we did find through all of the forums that we looked at and looking at other places and apps and stuff, that you can park on the seafront of I think it's Prince's Promenade, and it's free overnight parking on that seafront from 6 p.m. onwards until 8 a.m. So that was absolutely perfect for us. It's a quiet spot, not many other cars going by. We parked in quite a well lit area opposite a hotel. It was really fine. If you're parking there, it's very difficult to get out of your door. You can't, because they've got a huge concrete barrier that comes halfway up our motorhome door. So we couldn't actually, unless we parked out in the middle of the road, we couldn't open the door. So we all had to clamber out, because we want to go for a little walk. We had to clamber out of the driver's door into the road. But that, if you're okay with doing that, it was, we waited till there was no traffic and it was quite safe. But then getting to the Channel Tunnel in the morning, dead simple, just follow the signs, and it just takes you right in there. And we made a little mistake that the signage says go to the right, and there's one lane on the right for foot passengers, and there's like 6 lanes on the left for what looked like HGV lorries, vans, and there was a sort of what looked like a trailer tent in front of us. So I followed that, and that was wrong. So if you're going in your motorhome or caravan, you need to go on the far right hand side. It's a single lane, and it's for pedestrian passengers really. So you then go through there, and you go through passport control and so on. If you do get the wrong lane, I pressed the help button and they just gave me a ticket. I had to go back around and come back in and choose the right lane again, but they didn't cost anything to do that. Then you're into the passport control, and once you've done passport control, there's the police, and then border control, 2 passport controls, and then you just follow everybody in. Really simple. I mean, we've got a nearly 9 metre van, 8.7 metres. The openings to get on the train are huge, and there's no worries to get in there. Really, really simple. And you just follow. Good bit of advice from our good friend Ed was stay back from the car in front until you know that there's enough room in the next carriage or the next trailer to get you in, because you don't want to be, well, you're not allowed to be stuck halfway between the 2 carriages. So I was hanging right back, and then I was sort of called forward by the attendant and parked about this far, which worried me a little bit, given the problems we had on the boat with the van moving. But it wasn't a problem. Handbrake fully on, put it in first gear, and then just relax. And we did. They make you turn your gas off for safety before you go on. So there's no making tea on the way. But that's okay. It's a really, really short journey. At the other end, coming off the train is very similar. Off the train and up the ramp, turning to the right, keeping on the right, and then following the signs out to where you're going, or following your sat nav. It's really, really simple. And remembering to stay on the right. There are some signs up to do that. Getting on and going down, well, getting down to Spain can be done in a couple of ways. If you're on a bit of a tight time limit, we met some people that got off they got the ferry across on Saturday afternoon, and they were here with us on Monday afternoon. So you see, it can take you a day and a half to do what we've taken 2 weeks to do, because we've taken our time. We've taken a really, really long route, and we've enjoyed the scenery on the way. So you don't need the 2 weeks that we've taken to get to Spain. We just wanted to take that time and get through, and I hope that those of you who have been watching the last 2 weeks videos have enjoyed that journey with us too. We've certainly enjoyed it a lot, meeting the lovely French people out in the country villages, going into the really quaint little shops and buying the food and the wine, and really so surprised excuse me, at the price of wine in France. It really is very, very cheap, and it really is as good as anything I've had in England at £8 a bottle. The current wine I'm drinking is a Bel Air red in a box. It came in a box. I bought 3 litres of it for €6. So it was €6.10. So £1.50 a bottle, or €1.50 a bottle. So really, really cheap, and it is very nice indeed. So you can take your time getting into the airs. We've paid for one air. We paid €12 for a night, and I think if you look a few videos ago, you'll see that was on the Ile de Laurent and at Saint Denis, and it was a deserted, muddy place, and it had a laundry, which is why we went there. We've since seen laundries out in at supermarkets and so on. So at the local Leclerc supermarket, there is a laundry outside, and it's €7 for 18 kilo load and €1 for a 15-minute dry. So not too bad if you're on the road, you want to get your laundry done, that's okay. So it all can be done. Filling up with fuel, which we've done a few times now, best done at maybe an Intermarché fuel station. They're very often automated. Put your card in, punch your number in, fill up with fuel, then it spits out a receipt, tells you how much you spent. Easy peasy. No worries about that. I've heard some horror stories about prepayments and all that. I've not found it a problem at all. So that's it. So we're within a few miles now of the border into Spain, and we will have to start learning a bit of Spanish, won't we? And we find it easier actually to start to get by with the language when we're talking to the locals and the natives of the country, because it's much easier to pick things up and explain what you want. Very often people will help you by speaking a bit of English for you and guide you through, but as long as you're making an effort, we've found them to be extraordinarily kind and welcoming. Of course, we're spending money, which is always a good thing. So there we are. A really simple way to get down to Spain is to just pick up all the toll roads and hit it. The people that came down did it in a day and a half. They use I think it's a Sanef tag or some such, and they get the bill when they get home, and it's all done. You can go on the avoiding toll roads, and they're just as good as the motorways. They really are. We came down what's called the D9 because there were too many weight restrictions around and trying to get here, and the sat nav wouldn't let us go any further because of the weight restrictions. So we had to go on the D9, which is a toll road, and we did hit the yellow jacket protesters. They allowed us to go through, and we took our toll ticket, got to the other end. It was 100 kilometres on the motorway, and we got to the other end. Yellow jacket protesters again. They waved us into an area, came over, spoke to us in English, said, "Have you got a toll ticket?" "Yes." "Okay." And they took it from us and waved us through the barrier and said, "You don't pay." So they're actually stopping the tolls being paid in protest of the taxes, and the guy had a thick wad of toll tickets like this. So yeah, they're obviously having a major effect, but there you are. So you can go on the tolls, you can pay the toll, or you can go on the side roads, the dual carriageways. They're really easy. Either way, we're really enjoying the journey and what we're experiencing now, a little bit of winter sun. Well, I hope you've enjoyed that little bit of an explanation about navigation and getting there, and how we managed it. And if you did, please give us a thumbs up. And if you want to keep following our journey as we travel around the UK and Europe, living full-time in our motorhome, why not subscribe? And if you don't want to miss any of our content, click the bell icon next to the subscribe button. I'll see you again next time. Thanks so much for watching. Bye bye for now.